Sai Ram, everyone. And a very happy Buddha Purnima to each and every one of you. On this very auspicious occasion today, we have the pleasure of having amongst us Reverend Dr. Bhante Saranapala. Dr. Saranapala, you are not new to our center. You have blessed us before with your presence in our center, with your inspiring talks, and we love to hear from you. The peaceful aura that you carry and the tranquility that you bring, we like to hear from you over and over again. And today it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Bhante Saranapala. Reverend Dr. Bhante Saranapala, also known as the urban Buddhist monk and the Buddhist chaplain to the University of Toronto, lives in the monastic community of the West End Buddhist Temple and the Meditation Center in Mississauga, Ontario. Born in Chittagong, Bangladesh, Dr. Saranapala continued his secular and monastic education in the ancient city of Kandy, the seat of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Shortly after, he moved to Canada to accept an assignment as a resident monk at the West End Buddhist Monastery in Mississauga. He completed his BA honors degree in comparative religions and Western philosophy from the University of Toronto in the year 2000 and was appointed chaplain to the university in the same year. He obtained a master's degree in religious studies from McMaster University in the year 2002 and then completed his doctoral studies in religious studies at the Center for the Study of Religion. Dr. Saranapala is an eminent public speaker and a meditation teacher of excellence. For over 2 decades, he has been teaching and developing programs based on Buddha's 5 precepts with an emphasis on love and compassion. His scholarly lectures about the teachings of Buddha, mindfulness, and Vipassana meditation has attracted the attention of the university academic circles and the interfaith community in Canada. Dr. Saranapala has addressed the parliaments in Ottawa, and he is a recipient of the Spirit Award from the Government of Ontario for his humanitarian services, including public speaking, mindfulness, Vipassana meditation retreats, corporate wellness programs, counseling, stress and anger management, and Dhamma teachings. His new programs include mindful meditation for police, RCMP, soldiers, paramedics, and firefighters. Reverend Dr. Bhante Saranapala has been spreading Dharma, mindfulness, and Vipassana meditation across Canada and the United States for over 2 decades. And he has brought forward the ancient teachings of Buddha in a modern perspective so we can connect to the teachings of Buddha from the Western perspective. Dr. Bhante Saranapala's deep knowledge of meditation and neuroscience has earned him captivating audiences all over. And now it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Saranapala to the podium. Please welcome him to the podium.
Sai Ram, good morning. So I'm so happy to come back to the York Center. This is not something new to me. I've been coming here for a long time, and every time we pass by the airport, I always tell other monks and people there's a beautiful Sai Center nearby. So, and I would like to wish all of you happy Vesak, happy Buddha Purnima with blessings of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And thank you for coming together to celebrate Vesak, the Buddha Purnima at the center. And today, around the globe, Vesak is being celebrated, including Canada. And so we are celebrating our Vesak Day throughout the month of May. Every weekend, we have programs taking place at the center and also in other places. Even today, there is a Buddha Purnima Day being celebrated in downtown by the Nepali group, and so I was invited, but I won't be able to make it due to another urgent spiritual program that I have to attend at the temple. And also today is the Toronto Strong prayer vigil taking place at the last Main Square. There will be a lot of people, and I think this is something never happened in Canadian history in this scale of attack and violence. And I think it's always good to come together to celebrate the lives of those who happen to say goodbye to all of us in such a tragic way. And so today we dearly remember them, and also those who got injured, we are wishing them a speedy recovery with the blessings of the Buddha, blessings of the Sri Satya Baba, and may they continue to enjoy long life with good health. So today I was asked to give a Dhamma talk and lead a meditation session for an hour. And even yesterday we had one-day meditation retreat at our temple. So there were a lot of people, and normally for every meditation retreat, people give me a topic to talk about. And so, thank you. Okay, thank you. And I was talking about the transcendental knowledge for the ending of human suffering. And I think I thought I should talk about that today for your own benefits. And if you listen to these step-by-step teachings carefully, you would have actually more devotion, respect, and appreciation and gratitude for Sri Satya Sai Baba. I believe these teachings would be of immense benefit to all of you, because we all are human beings, and I believe we all can benefit from this, no matter what background we come from, what religious or spiritual tradition we belong to. One thing we need to understand: we all are human beings. As human beings, there is a problem. Now, that problem is what Buddha called the dukkha. That's the existential problem. So, it's not just the Indians who experienced the dukkha in the 6th century BCE. What Buddha diagnosed at the time, the problem of the society, the problem of the existence, is the same, is still the same in the 21st century with all the technology and developments. I think this is something to do with all of us. And what Buddha discovered was a solution to this the problem, and this solution can be experienced by anyone. So the problem of suffering is, although we say is caused by the craving and desire or tanha, and a lot of sutras, the discourses of the Buddha, we see Buddha said is the avidya, or in Pali, and avidya in Sanskrit, is the main cause of suffering. Avidya or avidya means ignorance. Ignorance. So, when we avidya also has been compared to darkness. In darkness, we see nothing. So, if we don't see, then we end up doing a lot of things, and those things cause the problems: physical, emotional, mental pains and sufferings. So, in order to dispel this darkness, to remove the ignorance from our heart and mind, there is a fundamental quality that we all have to develop, that is known as the Vijja Vimutti. Vijja, like, is opposite of avidya, and Vijja means the knowledge, or transcendental knowledge, or insight, or wisdom. Wisdom, that knowledge that helps us to gain release from this problem, the suffering. So, how do we get there? Now, it's a step-by-step teaching that we all have to follow. Is not, one thing we need to understand is this, in the same sutta, this is found in the Anguttara Nikaya, one section of the Buddhist teachings, and is called Avijja Sutta, the Discourse on Ignorance. And Buddha was trying to find the beginning point of avidya, ignorance. And I think is the nature of human beings. We want to find the beginning point. Where does it come from? Or how did it happen? Who did it? So, of course, people could give different answers to that question. But here, the Buddha is saying that using my Buddha power, I wanted to find the beginning point of this avidya, ignorance, but this beginning point is not visible, he said. Even using my Buddha power to see it is not visible. It goes further and further and further. So Buddha said, there's no point of going to find the beginning point of it, because it's beginningless and endless. This is what he said. It's called anamatagga. In Pali, we say anamatagga. There's no beginning, no end to this. And so, instead of trying to find the beginning point, or why don't we try to understand, like, what feeds this ignorance, avidya? So, there is an interesting word the Buddha is using, is called ahara. What is the ahara for this avidya? Ahara, you know that word, means food. Food. And so, for us to survive, we need to eat food. So, we need protein, carbohydrate, vitamins, and all that. These are the things, the nutriments that feed us, foster us, to grow us, nourish us. So, Buddha diagnosed that the ahara, the food for the avidya, is what he called the five hindrances. Pancha Nivarana Dhammas. And today, I think what I'm what I'm doing here is sharing this deep knowledge, and maybe on or off, maybe you might think this is too much. My goodness, And now I think we don't have to stay in the first level, right? We need to learn to go to the upper levels now. I think in the past years I have been just generally giving a talk, But I think so today, since we are celebrating Buddha Purnima, I need to share something deep for your own spiritual benefit. So, Pancha Nivarana Dhammas, the 5 hindrances, 5 obstacles, are the food, the nutriments that feed this ignorance. Now, what are the 5 hindrances? We call Kama Chanda, Vyapada, Thina Midda, Uddacha Kukucha, and Vichikicha. Now, Kama Chanda is sensual desire. Vyapada means ill will or anger. Thina Midda means the lethargy and sleep. Uddacha Kukucha, restlessness and worries. And Vichikicha is the doubt. Now, I think as human beings, we all have these obstacles, these hindrances. So these are the 5 unwholesome factors that block us from progressing in life. Let's say it every day when you look at yourself, or when you begin your day in the morning. Now it's also kind of mindfulness practice for you. Now see which hindrance, which obstacle is there, which Nivarana Dhamma is there. Maybe is the sensual desire, maybe it's the anger, maybe it's lethargy, maybe you want to sleep more, maybe you're agitated and worried, maybe you're doubting. Right? So we are living with these hindrances every day. Right? So these are the 5 Nivarana Dhammas that are feeding this ignorance to grow. This is what Buddha said. Now, then what feeds these Nivarana Dhammas? 5 hindrances, right? So then, Buddha said there are 3 kinds of misconducts. So 3 kinds of misconduct, misbehaviors, feed the 5 hindrances to grow. So now, these are verbal misconduct, physical misconduct, and mental misconduct. So now, let's say, I think as Buddhists, we lay people are always encouraged to follow the 5 precepts, Panchasila. So now, whole purpose of the sila, the morality, is to shun the negative behaviors, misconducts, and to create the space for the positive behaviors, positive conducts to grow in our life. So we need to, whatever physical, verbal, mental misconducts there are, we need to abandon them, drop them, and then we need to cultivate the good ones. So let's say refraining from taking life, refraining from stealing, refraining from sexual misconduct, refraining from lying, refraining from saying bad words, abusive words, harsh words, gossip, and then we need to refrain from ill will, covetousness, and wrong views. So these are the 10 physical, verbal, mental misconducts that feed the 5 hindrances, and they grow day by day. So now, if we feel like engaging in physical, verbal, mental misconduct. Now, what feeds that? What is the food for those three misconducts? And then the Buddha said is the lack of restraint of the senses. Lack of the restraint of the senses cause us to misbehave physically, verbally, and mentally. Now, it is known in the teachings of the Buddha as the Indriya Suguttadaro. So in the spiritual practice, we are encouraged to guard our senses. So like, we are dealing with the environment through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, right? So sometimes when we see things, the objects out there, everything is looking so beautiful, so pleasant, then we say, oh my goodness, that's what I want. So when you hear sound, noise, voice, oh, that's a beautiful voice. Oh, I want to hear it over and over again. If we eat something, if it is tasty, then we want to eat that over and over again. And if we get a pleasant physical touch, we want that over and over again. So then, we lose the sense restraint. And if we don't guard our senses, then we are going to end up engaging in the misconducts. So sense restraint is very important. And so the lack of the restraint of senses make us engage in the physical, verbal, and mental misconducts. So now, what feeds this lack of restraint of the senses? That the Buddha says lack of mindfulness and alertness. So it's called sati sampajanya. So if we are not being mindful, if we are not being alert, and then we won't be able to guard our senses. So the lack of mindfulness, lack of alertness, cause the lack of sense restraint, right? So now, what feeds this lack of mindfulness and alertness? That is what Buddha called the inappropriate attention or unwise attention. It is known in Pali called ayoniso manasikara. Ayoniso manasikara is unwise, improper, inappropriate attention. That means, let's say, you're here during the you're here to meditate, let's say, or you're here to sing the good virtues of Sat Sai Baba. But coming here, while you're here in the shrine room, if you're thinking about, let's say the sensual thoughts or craving thoughts, and if you're thinking about mundane things, and then that is what we call the inappropriate attention. You're giving unwise attention to those things. So unwise attention feeds the lack of mindfulness and restraint. So now, what feeds this unwise attention? Buddha said it's a lack of conviction, lack of faith, asaddhi, we call, not having saddha, meaning you're not inspired, you have no faith in this, right? So lack of faith leads to this unwise attention. Now, what feeds this lack of conviction? That is not hearing the true teachings, good teachings. Do you see the beauty of this sequence? The order. One thing causes another. And so if you are not hearing good teachings, then how would you know? So you need to hear the good teachings. So all of you come here to hear the good teachings, right? And then what feeds this not hearing good teachings? The Buddha said, not hanging around with the good friends, good people. See, is so in the bad people, unfine people, negative people. He says the negative people, bad people do not want you to come to the Sai Center on an occasion like this. The bad people want, hey, what's the purpose of going there? Go out and enjoy the life. Today is a beautiful day. Forget about this. We will do it maybe sometime later. Right? So the negative people, this is what they do. So, so is the not having good friends is the cause that feeds not hearing the good teachings. So the bad people never share the good teachings or good dharma. So here, that I said that's the first step. This is maybe we can call it the ladder, right? A ladder to ignorance. The final step of the ladder is the top step is the ignorance. So the first step of that ladder is the negative people, bad people, called unfine people, right? So here Buddha is giving a beautiful simile, right? The simile, let's say the rain gods, devas, drop the there's raindrops, right? For raindrops fall onto the mountaintop, okay? So now, as the raindrops keep falling onto the mountain top, now what will happen? It will flow down. And as that water flow keeps flowing down, then it will they will fill the branches of the mountain ravines and gullies. So once branches of the mountain gullies and ravines become full, then it will fill the small lake. When the small lake becomes full, then it will fill the big lakes. When big lakes become full, then it will fill the small rivers. When the small rivers are full, then it will fill the big rivers. When big rivers are full, then it will fill the ocean. See? So now it's a terrible thing now here. Buddha is comparing this ocean to ignorance. It's huge. Now when you look at the ocean, it's huge and you don't see the other side. And it's so dangerous, right? So it's going to create a lot of problems in our life. Now, in order to remove ignorance, that's a huge thing, and we need to pay our attention to. Again, it's in psychology, there is a kind of technique, it's called the shifting attention or paradigm shift. So now, if we are still living in this darkness or ignorance, now we need to make an effort to shift our attention to the knowledge, transcendental knowledge and the release, Vijja Vimutti. Now, again, let's say that's the final. That's the liberation. That's the liberation, freedom from suffering. Now, how do we get there? Again, we can just go there immediately. Again, it's a ladder, right? You need to climb the ladder. The first step of this ladder is having the good friends, associating with good people, called Kalyanamitta, or Sappurisa. Sappurisa, fine people. Kalyanamitas, good friends. So, good people, good friends are concerned about your well-being. So they encourage you to do the good things, right? And they will say, you know what, okay, we have a plan for today, but why don't we go to the center first and do some bhajans and pay my respect to our Guru, Satya Sai Baba, and then let's do meditation, and then after 1 or 2 hours, then we can go out and have our fun. But they give the priority to the good things first. So this is the nature of the good people, the fine people, Sappurisas. So we all need good people. The Buddha said, without good people, or fine people, the spiritual progress is not possible. Let's say you're here today, all of you are here. We all have to be good friends, good person to one another. And we need to support one another. We need to show the way. We need to do good things together. This is the nature of the good person, the fine person. And then, when you have good friends, as the first step of the ladder, and then the good friends always make you listen to the good teachings. They tell you the good stories, they teach you good things, and they, how even using the social media. Sometimes social media, right, people share the negative things and cause a lot of pains and sufferings to others. Now, through the email, use the social media, if you can just share the positive things, let's say you experience after coming here to the center, if you could write your own experience. Today I did the bhajan, sing of the bhajan, I did the meditation, and this is what I felt. Like all these gentle words, kind words. Now imagine through that, even there are so many people who are looking forward to such words. Now imagine you make their day. Like I'm also into social media, by the way. I'm there not for anything else, but just to give the inspiration, motivation to people. And I have received so many feedbacks from the people around the world that even I did not know, that every day they look forward to my posting. Like, they start the day, the work, after reading this little thing. So I think it's very important for us to share good things, right? So good people always share the good teachings, Saddhamma. And then when you hear the good teaching, then guess what? The third step of the ladder, then you develop conviction, saddha. You have this faith, the belief. This is good. This is good for me, good for everyone. You need to believe in this good. If you don't believe, let's say if you don't believe the Buddha is an enlightened being, if you don't believe the Sri Satya Sai Baba as the divine, the great human being, divine being, then you won't be able to do anything. You will be able to accept him as a divinity or as an enlightened being only when you hear the teachings. I think all of you come here. Why? Because you have seen him, you have listened to his teachings, and so you have accepted. It's the acceptance of the good things. So it's very important for us to have the saddha. Without saddha, Buddha said, saddha hattos. Saddha, conviction, is the hand. Let's say without hands, what can you do? So it's very, and saddha is the root. Saddha, conviction is the root. Without these roots, the tree can't grow. So we need the saddha, the conviction, right? Faith. And Once you have saddha, once you establish in saddha conviction, then you will have this appropriate attention, yoniso manasikara. Then when you go to meditation sessions, when you come here, you are only thinking about the positive thoughts. You're only thinking about the good thoughts. You're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about what is happening outside. You're not thinking about the assignments or the business and this and that. You're not giving in to those unwholesome thoughts like sensuality, anger, uncertainty, doubts, and all the negative thoughts, defilements. So you're only feeding your mind with the positive thoughts, good thoughts. It's very important to understand. So you're paying attention to such thoughts, and it is called the appropriate attention, wise attention, right? Yoniso manasikara. Once you develop yoniso manasikara, the wise attention, then it will help you to develop mindfulness and alertness. That is sati sampajanya. That means wherever you go, throughout the day, whatever you do, the moment you get up in the morning till you hit the bed in the night, and during the day, whatever you do, maybe getting up, brushing teeth, taking a shower, changing your outfits, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, driving, working, going out, whatever you do, you're doing that with mindfulness. You're doing everything mindful. Now things go wrong because we are not being mindful. We are not paying attention, right? So if we can train ourselves to do everything with mindfulness and alertness, and even let's say how sometimes these things happen when you're driving, and sometimes when you see the yellow light, you rush, you speed up, and sometimes if it is red light, then sometimes you curse the red light. So at that moment we need to be mindful. Oh, it's okay. Let me be grateful to this red light. It gave me a few seconds to breathe. See? So you need to be mindful of all this. So mindfulness can be applied to everything. Even when you're cooking, right? Making dinner or lunch or breakfast, sometimes you may be, oh my goodness, I have to do every day. How come I'm not getting enough help? So when you cook with that kind of mental attitude, negative mind, even although you add all the ingredients, it's not going to be tasty. So when you do this with full presence of mind, no, it's a good for me. It's a good thing for me. Let me do it, So when you do it mindfully, right, with the good intention, good thoughts, and although you don't add the ingredients, it's going to be tasting good, right? So it's very important to understand. So mindfulness can be applied throughout the day. So once you develop mindfulness, then it will help us to, go for the restraint of the senses. See, these are connected, right? Now, when you go out, then you won't be losing the control. Now, when you see things, objects, when you hear voice or noise, when you smell something, when you taste something, when you get physical touch, wherever you go, then you will have always restraint, sense restraint. Like you're guarding your senses because you know who you are, what you're doing, right? And once you develop this sense restraint, then it will help you to develop the next step of the ladder is called 4 foundations of mindfulness. There are, we call it Kaya Anupassana, Vedana Anupassana, Chitta Anupassana, Dhamma Anupassana. To contemplate the body as it is, to contemplate the feelings as they are, to contemplate the mind or emotions as they are, and to contemplate the mental objects as they are. So, mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feelings, mindfulness of the emotions, mindfulness of the mental objects. Right? These are called 4 foundations of mindfulness. These are big, by the way. We can spend hours and hours talking about these 4 foundations of mindfulness. But what it means is that you discipline, you train your mind to look within, go inside, right? So meditation. So we need to do meditation to progress in this journey to knowledge and release. So when we do satipatthana, it's like I always give an example to people. Doing meditation is like being like a turtle. In any environment, turtle can survive. Although it has predators, all these enemies, they can't do any danger. Why? Because this turtle knows it has a hard shell, and anytime an enemy comes or gets closer, it just goes inside the shell. And it remains very... I'm pretty sure you have seen like those little video clips how even a crocodile was trying to eat the turtle. So they were trying and trying, but at the end, the crocodile had to release the turtle because it's hard. The shell is very hard. So in the same way, when you, like in our lives, we have many crocodiles, many tigers, many lions, or many enemies who are coming, and those are what we call stress, tension, depression, anxiety, sufferings, and pains. Anytime such things happen in your life, all you have to do is just go inside. That is the whole purpose of the meditation. Like satipatthana, go inside. Going inside, this is your real home. Right? This is your real home. That's why you feel safe and secured. But when you go out, you might encounter danger. So once you develop these 4 foundations of mindfulness, and it will help you to go to the another key step of the ladder, which will provide you help you to go to the final step of the ladder. Now, this important ladder step is called 7 Factors of Enlightenment. In Buddha's teaching, it is known as the Sati Sambojjhanga, or 7 Factors of Enlightenment. 7 factors mean enlightenment factor of mindfulness, enlightenment factor of investigation, enlightenment factor of energy or making effort, then enlightenment factor of happiness in the body, then next one, enlightenment factor of the happiness in the mind. The next one is tranquility. We call samadhi, is the complete calm state of the mind, free from all distractions, and then enlightenment factor of equanimity. See, in Pali, they are known as sati, dhamma vichaya, virya, piti, passaddhi, samadhi, and panya. So once we continue developing these 7 factors of enlightenment, then Buddha says that it will give us this transcendental knowledge, wisdom. Then you will be able to see the things as they really are. This is what Buddha also called yatha bhuta jnana darsana, knowing and seeing the things as they really are. So I know these 7 factors of enlightenment require more explanations, but we don't have much time for more explanation. But once we do, develop this, it will help us to gain knowledge, wisdom, and it will help us to gain liberation. So I think this is, at that point, that means ignorance has been dispelled. It has been removed from the mind. Now you're free. You have freedom. You are liberated. So at this point, then there is no suffering. You're completely free from the cycle of life. So this is what Buddha called the becoming Buddha, or becoming Arhat, or becoming enlightened, awakened. So these are some deep teachings I wanted to share with all of you this morning, as we all are celebrating Buddha Purnima. Now we also need to do some meditation, and what we are going to do is simple technique, like meditating. Doing meditation means becoming like a turtle, okay, going inwards and remaining with the breath. So I will take you through this meditation session. It will be a guided session, okay? So I don't know how much time do I have now. I don't. 20 past. Okay, we have time. Okay. So 25 to 25 minutes meditation would be okay, no? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, first of all, take a comfortable sitting posture and slowly and gently close your eyes. Now, withdraw your attention from the external things. See whether you can completely withdraw your mind from outside and bring your mind to the present moment. As you remain right here now, take a deep breath and let your whole body relax. As you remain relaxed in this moment, now kindly remind yourself that I am practicing meditation now to free myself from all sufferings and pains, to gain freedom from all emotional disturbances. With this noble intention in mind, listen to the sound of the meditation bell and let yourself remain grounded in this moment. Now slowly and gently bring your full attention to the ingoing and outgoing breath. As you breathe in, simply notice you're breathing in. As you breathe out, notice you're breathing out. Mindful of breathe in, mindful of breathe out. And relax. 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 Meditation is not about doing something or thinking about something. Meditation is all about being. Just allow yourself to be right here now. Meditation is all about relaxation. As you breathe in, breathe out mindfully, let the whole body relax. As you continue breathing, be very kind and gentle to yourself. Be kind and gentle to the body. See whether you could embrace your whole body, yourself, with a lot of kindness. Embrace yourself with kindness the way you embrace the teddy bear with a lot of kindness and love and care. Really care for yourself now, not later. Now is the time to be kind to yourself. With that much love, care and kindness, Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Breathe in, breathe out, intentionally, wholeheartedly, having the full presence of the mind right here now. Now see whether you're breathing through the nose. See whether you can breathe through the nose in and out. Breathe through the nose, breathe out through the nose, and relax. As you continue breathing through the nose, you might notice maybe the breath is long, maybe it's short. Whatever the breath pattern is, simply notice it as it is. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax. Now see whether you could breathe with this sustained attention. As you breathe in, breathe out, follow the breath all the way in, all the way out. Sustaining your full attention on the breath, continue breathing. As you continue breathing, let the body relax, let the mind calm down. Slowly open your eyes, and if you wish, you could stretch your legs and hands and remain relaxed. So I would like to do a little blessing chanting for all of you. By the grace and power of these true words, by the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. We wish you all the best, all the success, good health, long life, and physical and mental well-being. May all blessings be with you. May all blessings be with you. May all blessings be with you. Having these thoughts, these wholesome intentions in mind, now please pay attention to this blessing chanting. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Dukkha patacani dukkha bhaya patacani bhaya soka patacani soka hantu sabbe pipanino. Dukken pelene sat dukken meden tua bien pelene sat bien meden tua sovin pelene sat somnas vedtua melovasielu sat suapat vedtua. Those who are suffering, may they all become free from suffering. Those who are living in fear, may they all become free from fears. Those who are grief-stricken, may they all become free from grief. May all sentient beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all sentient beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all sentient beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Thank you. And happy Vesak and Sai Ram.
pranams at your divine lotus feet, beloved Lord. We offer our love and gratitude to you here this morning. We are ever so grateful to you, Bhagwan, for bringing your messenger, Bhante Dr. Saranapala, amongst us, not once but several times. We all hear you through his voice, your messages, none other than those messages of beloved Lord Buddha. This morning, I offer my pranams to Dr. Bhante Saranapala also, and all of you also a very welcoming and loving Om Shri Sai Ram. I am sure, like me, at this point in time, you would not even be wanting to speak sincerely. The teachings of Buddha that revered Bhante expounded to each one of us this morning, and thereafter the chanting of blessings immaculate have really left us searching within ourselves of the several steps of the ladder that he shared with us from the teachings of Lord Buddha. We are indeed blessed to have been in his presence to listen to his expositions here. This morning, he took us through the steps. He talked about avidya, ignorance, then avidya, vimukti. He shared with us the very first step of the ladder, namely, bad company, not so good company. And then the final step, he talked about the 7 factors of enlightenment, namely mindfulness, investigation, energy, happiness in the body, happiness in the mind, tranquility, and equanimity. And having taken us from the first to the last step towards enlightenment, he talked about some very relevant and heartwarming teaching lessons, such as, he said, there are 5 hindrances: sensual desires, anger, ill will, lethargy, sleep, worries and restlessness, doubts. And he said there are 3 misconducts, 3 types of misconducts, namely verbal, physical, and mental. We could all relate to all what he was talking in a very simplistic manner, in a manner that we can understand. He talked about restraining of senses is very important. He said lack of mindfulness and alertness feeds to the lack of guarding our senses, and we need to guard our senses to move ahead towards meeting with our own spirit, namely enlightenment. He said, why is this happening? Because of lack of faith, not hearing the good teachings. He also said not being in good company leads us to that. He said we must develop faith. And then he gave us the teaching of Lord Buddha, comparing Shraddha to hand. Henceforward, I know for myself, anytime I look at my hands and feel that strength, I will remind myself of faith, that is Shraddha. He said there should be wise attention, work with mindfulness. And he said, what are the 4 foundations of mindfulness? To remind us, he said, body, feeling, emotions, and mental. He said it is very simple. Go inside, contemplate and go inside. And that is what he led us through his mindfulness silent meditation. And how beautifully he asked us to watch our breath, inhaling and exhaling, and follow it till the end. That I have heard for the first time. I have heard, watch my breath, but watching my breath from the start to the finish was another learning I'm going to take home, along with so many others that he expounded. Indeed, revered Dr. Bhante Saranapala, we are truly blessed to have been present to listen to your messages of light, hope, tranquility, inner peace, and happiness. That is what we are all searching for. With your messages that you expounded here this morning, and also to those messages that have been heard at many multi-faith celebrations and many community functions, to name one was the Invictus Games of 2017, where Dr. Bhante Saranapala gave us this exposition of Buddha's teaching of tranquility and equanimity. As he was introduced, Sister Meena said he is known as an urban Buddhist monk, a monk of modern times, addressed as Bhante, and many of you may know the meaning of Bhante. Bhante means the venerable one. Having experienced his expositions and his teachings of Buddha through him several times, I think we should all join our hands and agree that we should be addressing him as Rinpoche, and that in Pali means the precious one. So for us, we should expound him as Rinpoche. And Dr. Bhante Saranapala, I would take the liberty to say Dr. Rinpoche Saranapala. We look forward to having you here not once, twice, but many times, because we need to hear from you and in your sweet, simple, humble voice, which is again a teaching to us as our Bhagwan also leads us. And your devotion, your reverence to our Master, our Guru, is also something very dear to our heart, and therefore we see him in you and you in him as one. So we look forward to several more deliberations of you, your expoundings of Lord Buddha. So thank you once again. And as a very small token of gesture of appreciation, we will ask one of our students, Krishav Khatri, to come and present with you something which represents the fragrance of our love, respect for you.
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो